How's it going, everybody? Doing an eating video here today of some Speedway gas station chicken sandwiches here. I have had one of these in the past. I did not get sick or anything. It's 2 for $6. They're $3.50 or 2 for $6. And I got them at Baja Blast. These are very basic. They give you some pickles, a piece of chicken, and cheese stuffed on the bottom. Apparently 560 calories, one of these. They also have a cheeseburger, like a stuffed, kind of like a calzone type thing, and rib hoagies. I've got to say, they have the best. The Speedway has probably the best selection of Mountain Dews. They got regular Baja Blast Voltage, Code Red, and the two new ones, the Point Break Punch and the Laguna Lemonade. I mean, these are pretty sizable, too, for the price. They're just a solid little chicken sandwich. It's not like a Popeyes or something. The BK is actually pretty good now. Was it Popeyes originally? Who was it? That kind of, I would say, made it first, but was releasing them. Where it was just the pickles, maybe some sauce, and the chicken. Like, that was it. And I think it was at Popeyes that first did that. Or is it one of the other places? I can't remember. And then now everybody has one. Like, everybody's had a chicken sandwich. You can maybe say, well, BK's had the original chicken sandwich, the long one. But like this kind of one, all of a sudden everybody started just throwing two pickles and some sauce, and that was it. Bad cholesterol in these. This is gonna. Islanders are out of the playoffs. They were eliminated on Tuesday night. Kind of classic Islander fashion. They were down 2-0 early, like 4 minutes into the game. They come back. Of course, it's 3-1 at the end of the first. They score 2 in the second to tie it in the third, and they give up 2 goals in the third. 7 seconds apart. They did the same thing. I don't know if it was like 8 or 9 seconds or 10, whatever. In game 2, the game they were heavily being outplayed, but somehow were up like 3-0 and lost like 5-3 in regulation. They gave up 2 goals in like a half a second. Twice in a series. Like, you know, I knew they weren't beating the Hurricanes, let's be honest. I do the brackets, I give them 7. This result's pretty much right on. You know, Islanders had to get to double overtime to get a win, you know. The Islanders can play with the Hurricanes for like 40 minutes. They can't play with them 60 minutes. I said I was going to rant. This is kind of a little bit of a rant on them. You can argue they had no business being in the playoffs. I think they had more of a business being in the Capitals. They just had the 16 fucking overtime loss bullshits. They should just go back to the way it used to be. Tie, win, loss, tie. If it's tied at the end of overtime, it's a tie. If you lose in overtime, it's a loss. You're not getting a point, a loser point. I tell you what, you get 3 pickles. Fucking Lamoriello needs to improve this team this year. I'm assuming Clutterbuck and Martin are gone. Matt Martin, Clutterbuck. Anders Lee could be gone. People are saying Brock Nelson, although I would probably hold on to Brock Nelson. He's actually gotten much better. Later in his career. Like his last 3 seasons, I think, are his best statistically. They need... I don't know what the hell happened to their defense. They used to play pretty good defense. I was looking at the free agents for next year. It's not a lot of sick players, none of which would come to the Islanders anyway, probably so. The Islanders, they need to sign a couple of like 2 or 3, at least, I would say 3 capable players. Like if they can get a second line player, a swap out, move one of your own guys down to the 4th line with Cizikas, add a 4th line player, add at least a 3rd liner and a 2nd liner. Like they just are not. Like they literally did nothing last offseason. They went in with the same team, and it was almost it was pretty much the same exact result. I think they had 92 points last year. I think they had 94 this year. A lot more overtime losses this year. So technically last year's team had more wins. Regulation overtime wins. They play the Hurricanes again. They lose to the Hurricanes actually worse than they did last year. So they regressed on that. They're just not... It's just... Now, you can argue they got stuck playing Hurricanes, the team they can't handle at all. It'd be that or the Lightning, right? So the matchup for them was terrible. They would have been better off playing the Rangers. I'm not saying they would have beaten them, but they would have played a better series against the Rangers. But it's just, the problem is they're the same team. It's the same team. If Lamoriello goes in with the speak, you know, and your team's GM in some sport has said this, we like what we have. We're happy getting the same result. We're happy squeezing into the playoffs the final week of the season and getting steamrolled in the first round. We're happy with that. No, get the fuck out of here. Plus side, he didn't trade the first round pick, so they actually have a first round pick this year. So they should be, I think they'd be drafting maybe 18th, maybe. Better than the Capitals. I think the only team that'd be ahead of them from the playoffs, I think, would be the Capitals. I don't know if any Western team finished worse than the Islanders. So, at least they have a first round pick. But I don't know. Maybe you should make a trade. If you can trade Nelson, get some decent. I don't know. Because here's what's going to happen. If they roll the same team, it's going to be the same fucking result. You're either going to just miss the playoffs, struggle to get in the last week of the season, and just play a team you're outmatched against. And it's going to probably end up being the fucking Hurricanes again. It's like, as a fan, you get annoyed. I understand that. Listen, the top line free agents don't sign with the Islanders. It's a fucking thing. They're not the only team in the league that can pull in massive free agents. Which is always weird because they trade for a guy like Horvat, which I wouldn't, if he was a free agent, I wouldn't necessarily, he would be like a second tier free agent, good player. He's not a superstar, right? Solid. He's a great player. If you're like doing things, I don't know how to grade them, but he's not a superstar. He wouldn't be like the top free agent, right? But he's still a solid player. He gets traded here, and of course he's like, I'll resign. I like it here. People like playing for the Islanders. They don't, when they get traded and they end up playing for the Islanders, they like, outside of Ryan Smith, back in the day when he got traded from the Oilers, but he didn't want to leave the Oilers. That's the thing. And they gave a bunch of shit to get him to for a first round exit. So they would. It's like players will typically stay here and re-sign after getting traded. And listen, at the end of the day, Tavares didn't leave after his first contract was up. He signed another deal. You know. Well, he was drafted by him, obviously, but it's not like his first contract's up and he's like, I'm fucking out of here, you know. That's why I give him that for staying 9 years. It wasn't working anymore, you know. Although, if he happened to re-sign with the Islanders and when Trotz came in, I think the Islanders could have actually pushed very well because you would not be hurting your team by still obviously having him on the team. And he'd be playing with Barzal again. So, in reality, they performed better without him. But if they had him with Trotz, I think they could have pushed one of those cups if he stayed the whole time, honestly. But they still did really, Trotz was the key. That's why I'm hoping Waugh, with a full season, can really get it going. We'll find out. So, you've got Hurricanes, Rangers are going to be a good series. The Hurricanes actually get to play a good team now. Let's be honest, in reality, the Islanders were just a little tune-up for the Hurricanes. Because the Islanders they're not a bad team. They're like a C-plus level team. They're average. And that's not good enough. The Hurricanes are, what? If you're grading them, they're at least a B-plus team, B-plus, A-minus team. A lot of people haven't winning it, so A team, they're an A team, we'll say, not the A team. With Hannibal be a face in Murdoch, but they are they're a cup contender. Okay. There's a tune-up for a team they just performed well against. They just are a matchup nightmare for the Islanders. So now they play the President's Trophy winner. Now I think that's going to be a 7-game series, honestly. When the Maple Leafs are in Game 5, they won Game 5 in overtime. So who else? Well, the Panthers are waiting for the winner of that series. West is still going strong. No, sorry, the Avalanche finished off the Jets in 5. I forgot. Jets fans gotta be pissed. Not necessarily losing to the Avalanche. They had a 3-point difference, but these sandwiches are good. Honestly, they're solid chicken sandwiches. If you have a Speedway near you or you're a gas station, make sandwiches that they throw in the thing and chill. You want to get there not too late in the day. So they've been sitting in there for, 8 hours, but they're solid. For the price, 2 for $6, even $3.50 for one at this day and age is a good deal. So I'd give those chicken sandwiches an 8 out of 10. It's a good chicken sandwich. It's not phenomenal. It's not going to be like a Popeyes or a Burger King even, or Chick-fil-A or whatever whoever. I've never actually had Chick-fil-A's one. I've had the Popeyes one's really good. The Burger King one is good. Somebody else made a similar one, though. I can't remember who it was. I don't fucking know. They all do this. They all mimic each other, right? But let me talk about the Jets here for a minute or two. Winnipeg, not the New York Jets. Their fan base was pumped, and they come out. There's a problem even in Game 1. They won Game 1 7-6, but you have, I forget how to say his last name, Connor Hellebuyck or whatever. I think he's going to be the goaltender for the USA team too in the World Cup thing, whatever the hell they do. But or at least maybe in the Olympics, whatever the next Olympics, 26. It looked bad. Even when they won 7-6, you're like, oh shit. He got and I'm not gonna, I don't know. I didn't watch the game, so I don't know how bad their defense was shitting all over the ice. But they got lit the fuck up. They lost the remaining 4. They were getting beat up. Now, Avalanche had a cup a few years ago, and they're a good team. It's not like they lost to a bad team. I don't think it's the fact that the Jets lost. It's the fact that they won the first game, and they were giving up 5+ goals a fucking game throughout the whole series, and they lose in 5. That's nuts. You thought that would be a 7-game series, even if they lose it, but wow. Losing to the Avalanche, whatever. You can't really be that surprised. But in the fashion they did, my goodness. Because, and here's from an opposite angle. You looked great all year. You take a beating in the first round, not even by a team they're pretty much the same fucking team, right? The 3-point difference. It's not like there was some gap, But man, for a fan base, you're like, oh shit, that was a great team, and we just got beaten in 5 and gave up 500 goals in the first round. How do you you're like, oh shit, are we gonna now take a step backwards? Every fan base can go on a rant about their team. You honestly can go on a rant about your team if you win the cup. Who knows? But anyway, that's drinking some Mountain Dew here, Bob Blast, eating some Speedway gas station chicken sandwich, and ranting about the Islanders briefly. Not really ranting, just rambling about them and whatnot. But thanks for checking this out, and have a good day.